Hey guys, Adam aka CS Radical here, and this is going to be a video different from anything I've never really put out before. Obviously, as some people are saying, if they're watching this, they're probably, if they are familiar with my channel anyway, they've been saying, well, where's all your content been? Well, I'll, uh, I'll quickly say that, I am in the midst of moving into a different place, so I am planning now that I'm going to have more time on my hands in terms of recording time where I'm not bothering anybody. I'm going to be able to get back into things, and there should be some podcasts starting up again, and you should start seeing more content. So, but I need to get on to something else. Obviously, this has been probably the most emotional week in terms of being a wrestling fan. Obviously, WrestleMania was on Sunday. The Undertaker streak is now over, and that's still, I still haven't fully recovered from that shock, but and then Monday night was one of the best Raws I've ever seen. Even and that's including the Attitude Era. Like I don't think I've been that entertained since the Austin era. And then just as I was shocked about Taker's streak, being defeated, I wake up this morning and find out that yesterday the Ultimate Warrior passed away, which really hits even harder when you understand that he literally just got inducted into the Hall of Fame Sunday night or Saturday night, was on WrestleMania on Sunday, and was even on Raw addressing everybody on Monday. And you don't expect that kind of news to pop out, especially, after such a feel-good story. He finally reconciles with WWE. He finally gets that moment of appreciation, and then he's gone. And as a wrestling fan, and as somebody who really has looked up to this guy over the years, this hit really hard, and I'm sure for all the fans out there, and then of course his friends and family, that this is a tragedy and just unbelievably heartbreaking to hear. And I thought I'd take a little bit of time out to just briefly say a few things about him, to honor him and everything else. So, unfortunately, when he was really a major star in the business, we're talking WrestleMania 6, at the Sky Dome fighting Hogan and winning the world title, I was too young. The first WrestleMania I remember watching within like a decent time frame of when it happened was WrestleMania 9, and by then Warrior had pretty much disappeared. He obviously came back for, I believe, was it 12 or 13? Might have been, I think it was 12, but don't quote me. 12 or 13 for sure. That he came back and wrestled Triple H, and then he disappeared again. And that's the last we heard of him forever. But through VHS, going to video stores and seeing all the old pay-per-views and stuff, like, I love this guy. And the first time I remember seeing him was, I believe it was WWF at the time, Super WrestleMania, the Sega Genesis game. I think it was out for Super Nintendo and stuff too, but that game came out, and I looked straight at his, 16-bit avatar look, and I was like, holy crap, who is this guy? That looks cool. And then when they play the music, of course, when you highlight his character, and even 16-bit, the bum, 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 that alone sounded awesome to me. And I immediately was like, okay, this guy's my guy. And, through watching old VHS tapes of the pay-per-views that he was on, I was absolutely enthralled with this guy. I mean, he had the look, he had the cool face paint, the tassels and everything, the boots, and the energy that this guy had was just incredible. I've never seen anybody with that kind of intensity, and I don't think we ever will again. Not in wrestling, not in this business at all. I don't think there's anybody that I've seen that's more intense than the Warrior is when it comes to his passion. And obviously over the years, he fell into obscurity. Obviously, not being in the business anymore. You're not in the limelight anymore. Obviously, when things started to arise, it was during the whole Hogan controversy and stuff. And that's the first time I really saw him speak again. Obviously, also before that, there was the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, which, was bullshit. I never really looked at it as something as him being unprofessional, because I would look past that and just see the art and just see the work that he put in and see the memories that he laid for fans and for future wrestlers. he did a lot of groundwork for people to get them into this business, whether people will admit it or not. But going back to his speaking stuff that he's been doing for the last few years, which is where I really saw him, that is where Warrior has made the biggest impact on me, because there is nobody in this world at this point in time that has inspired me to get up, to put the work in, and to really show my passion than Warrior has done. There are a string of videos that he's done that are inspirational speeches. Most of them are kicking you in the ass to get you moving kind of speeches. But that guy understands how it works. That guy understands that you can't beat around the bush with people. You have to tell them straight up, you need to get off your ass and do something, or else nothing will happen. There was a saying that he used to do, and quite simply put, it was, if you want to do it, essentially. I'm not quoting it quite correctly, but he's telling you, nothing's stopping you except you. And the other thing that he would always say, too, is that even if you think it doesn't matter, guess what? It does. Everything matters to your life. You can't just sit back and say, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Everything around you means something. And you have to take everything that there is around you and shape it to your will. You have to shape it to what you want it to be. You can't expect it to turn around and, go the direction that you assume it's going to. I've made that mistake a number of times in my life. And guys like Warrior, have kind of opened my eyes and, told me that I need to start thinking for myself. I need to start being myself to the point that I can't care about what somebody else thinks. It does matter in a way what they do think, but at the same time, a lot of the time they're going to think negatively, or they're not going to think anything of you. And at the end of the day, you have to understand that the only person that truly does care, or should be caring about what you are doing, is just you. Whatever anybody else does is completely inconsequential. You have to believe in yourself before anybody else can believe in you. And that's the biggest thing I've taken away from Warrior. That's that trademark that he has kept with him ever since he came back to WWE for that quick run during the Attitude Era. Well, just before it, I should say, really. And that was always believe. 2 simple words. And those words have never been truer to me than they are now. And they will continue to stick with me for the rest of my life. 2 words. That's all it takes. And unfortunately, now there are 2 words that I can't say anymore without bringing up sorrow, but at the same time bringing up good memories. And those 2 words are Ultimate Warrior. So, to his family, his wife and 2 daughters, all his friends, and to all the fans, this is going to be a long, long time before a lot of us get over this, because he has really been such an inspiration to so many people, whether in the wrestling business or just in real life. And I wish that I could have been able to meet this guy in person. And it's amazing that some people were lucky enough even on his last day before he died, were able to see him. Guys like, Batista was saying that, he finally got to tell him to his face that him shaking the ropes was was Warrior's. He was inspired to do that because Warrior did it. And obviously guys like Hogan too said, bury the hatchet, I got to speak to him for the first time in years. We forgave each other. Obviously, it's a sad day, and as a wrestling fan for over 20 years now, this is a heavy blow. So, I guess all I can say at this point is, we hope you're watching us from up there, dude, and we'll always believe in you. Thanks for everything, and to everybody else who's known him, and don't lose hope in yourselves, and as cheesy as it's going to be, always believe.